Alright, so I deactivated the device. How to report my findings. I just saw my bandwidth spike to 800 kilobytes a sec. 830. I haven't seen my bandwidth go up that high in months. Wow. Oh, that's right. I got so excited to see my bandwidth, I forgot to report in.
A strange machine and some weird drone things? That is troubling. Someone's been in there. We'll have to let the Maori know about this. It's good you disabled the device, though. Maybe now the Kellids will calm down.
I'm sure they will. Let's give them a few hours, though.
I took a look at those biological samples while you were gone, but
Good.
I can't do much more than a basic tricorder scan. It's just not my area. DeVex might be able to help. He was an engineer in the Romulan military before the homeworld was destroyed. Now he's helping us with our water supply and anything else that takes more specialized knowledge. You should talk to him.
I will. I'll do that now. Just a little target practice for fun. Hey, the Kellid should calm down in a few minutes to a few hours. There was some device in there that was agitating him. I'm going to take some of these samples back, have them analyzed. Pen of Pole. Hey, we saw her where we entered. Alright, so you notice what my character is wearing? It's a work outfit, right? Because he's not currently in any military, though we could say he more than likely had some mandatory military training. You know, some countries and governments require that when you come of age, you do some mandatory military service, like in the reserves or something like that. In the United States, the military is a completely volunteer service. See? And there's only a draft activated when there's like a national emergency, like World War I, World War II, the Civil War, Korea, Vietnam. So we've had a lot of drafts for the practice is called conscription. But there are other countries who require young men to participate in required military service. Sometimes it's a number of months to up to 2 years in some cases. Usually when they turn 18 or 20. So I knew some people in Korea who had to participate in mandatory military service. So let's just assume that our Reman character, has had military service training. But his profession is that of a scientist, yes? All right, let's talk to DVX.
What do you need with an old space hound like me?
Well, I have these samples that I need you to analyze from the Kellets.
I have an idea of what this might be. Maybe. I saw something like this once before, when I was out beyond the Eridon Belt.
The Eridon Belt?
We responded to a distress call from a mining outpost. When we got there, all the people were just gone, vanished without a trace. The only things we found were a strange beacon and some odd spore samples. These look very similar.
All right, so according to your class, you sometimes get conversational options or task options to do while you're on a mission. So if you're tactical, it may have to do with repairing a ship's weapon systems. If you're an engineer, it may have to do with repairing some of the some structural damage. If you're science, it may have to do with fixing something like scanners or some special analyzing equipment, or maybe a medical emergency response. In this case, science. May I use your equipment to scan the biological samples?
Sure, use whatever you want. I remember what we found back on the outpost. Bring the samples to me when you're done, and I can help you determine the results.
All right. Thanks. I'll let you know what I find.
Some missions in Star Trek Online will change based on your career track. Engineering, science, or tactical.
All right. So let's analyze this biological compound. Well. Take a look at these readings, DVX.
I've only seen fungal biotech like this once before. Remember that mining station that I mentioned?
Yes, I remember.
Before we arrived, they reported several disappearances. Some thought it was paranoia, but we had reports that said intruders would beam in right through the colony's magnetic shield, right into someone's quarters, sedate them, and then vanish without a trace.
Maybe we should do a head count across the colony. Check to see if there's any missing persons.
We didn't know what to believe, but I don't think those miners were paranoid. Something did happen to them, and it could happen again.
I think it may be related to that beacon I found.
That's what my commander believed. We found a beacon with almost the same configuration as the one you found. We weren't able to get much from it before we shut it down. But the one thing we learned is that the beacon was made by a race that called themselves the Elachi.
Elachi? What can you tell me about these Elachi?
We stayed in orbit for a few days, but the Elachi never came back. That's good news for us, seeing that you disabled the beacon you found in the caverns.
So what do we do now? Tell the Maori what we found?
That's right. He's the man in charge, so he needs to know. I'd be surprised if he doesn't want to send someone down there to analyze that beacon. Could be these Elachi were interested in our colony for some reason. Lucky for us, you were there to put a stop to whatever they were trying to do.
Well, we can thank the critters for finding it. All right. So let's go talk to the lore keeper. I want to talk to this lore keeper. Find out a little bit more about why we're here and all that kind of stuff. Who we are as a colony. That's on the other side, isn't it? What is this? Federation reports say that the ship... What? Admiral Quinn of Starfleet says that many ships, including USS Kittimer, have been dispatched to fight the Borg. Federation reports say that the ship and its crew were assimilated. 2 Romulans, Etan and Tenmer, are said to be the leaders of a breakaway group. Emperor Sela issued a statement denouncing the terrorists and their organization, the Romulan Republic. Ooh. War between the Klingons and Starfleet rages on, with no end in sight. January 2409, 2 weeks before the Borg attack on something colony.
The youngest of our kind rely on stories to know what our people were like before.
Oh.
Strong, secretive, warlike. We were feared. We were powerful. Then, everything changed. 22 years ago, the star of the Hobus system went supernova. The resulting explosion traveled through subspace to hit Romulus and Remus, our homeworlds. No one could have predicted that would happen, and no one could have stopped it. Millions died. Those who survived were scattered across dozens of worlds.
I would have thought it'd been billions that died. I mean, if you think about it, we have 6 billion, no, almost 7 billion inhabitants on Earth right now. Huh. So, I'm just looking around. Here's a Romulan ship. Looks like a transport ship. A shuttle. This is either a transport or a shuttle. I want to locate the lore keeper and talk to her. I guess she's off this way. Oh, there she is. I just didn't walk far enough. There we go. Talk to Diral. Diral, keeper of lore.
Hey there, ready for the big festival? Working hard? Or maybe you have time to listen to a story or two?
I just returned from the Kellid Hive. It's a mess down there.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds like a new story in the making. The mystery of the Kellids. Or perhaps the Kellid Conundrum. I'll have to think about it. We should talk more about it during the festival. Do you want to hear a story or two?
Sure, tell me a story about the origin of the Remans. Oh, you don't know about the Remans, just the Romulans? Alright. Tell me about the Romulans.
Almost 2,000 years ago, our people were Vulcans. At that time, Vulcan was a world of war, with constant struggles between the tribes. Serac changed that. He taught that peace came through logic. And if you ask me, not all Vulcans get that right. Serac said that people should master their emotions, not eliminate them. But not everyone on Vulcan wanted to give up love, or passion, or even anger. The Vulcans said, these people march